And now they are finding those same NanoPossession, self-assembling living elements from the fix also in dental anesthetics and all of the children's vaccines. The viewers of the NewEarth channel were warned about it years ago. So what to do if you have a toothache which requires dental treatment? As a temporary solution, I'm using laser dentistry. That means no anesthetic and no pain. But I won't be doing that much longer because they will have mark of the beast technology in all or almost all medical equipment in the very near future. In addition, it won't be long before dental treatments become a privilege for those who hold the certificate of the beast. And to make sure that you're not caught off guard and you're ready for dental problems in the difficult times, download now the book Where There Is No Dentist by Murray Dixon and get a couple of simple, inexpensive supplies which will allow you to make some sort of fillings all by yourself. Don't worry about these things, the tribulation will be very short and also the angels will be helping you. If you remember in the episodes about the future of America, there was a mention that there will be a short-lived attempt by the Chinese to invade. And we see already the signs coming. In the Chinese TikTok, they are publishing simple manuals on how to cross the border illegally. And indeed, there are quite few reports that exactly organized military age males, Chinese males, are coming in rather great numbers lately in USA and again on TikTok. After the manuals on crossing illegally, now they have started publishing instructions on how to invade actually USA, and no wonder that some of these Chinese illegal aliens have been spotted on the American military bases, just trespassing, entering without permission. Recently, there was a very disturbing headline from Spain. On a major carnival, they showed a group of kids dressed as if they were sacrificially tortured. And just read this. They are offering this for toddlers of the age of 3 to 6. I don't even remember if in the previous episodes I included a piece of news which I found somewhere on this website. It was a prophecy, old prophecy describing that they will start teaching even toddlers and very young kids how to do sexual perversion. And the kids who get damaged in such way when they become teenagers, they will be very suicidal. And then there will be this new woke fashion to be so humane and kind that they will start training them and encouraging them to do suicide, because what's the point of living in suffering? Everybody should be happy, no? That was in the old prophecy. The only word which I added was woke. This is a new word. But obviously this is in line with all the woke ideas. And I must say, by observing firsthand how people in the East and West react to this unbelievable satanization of society, I think that the majority still everywhere, East and West, really don't understand what is happening or have no clue how to remain safe in such situation. But at least in the East, at least this woke style is not so much prevalent. I think this is the biggest difference, and probably that's why more people will survive in the Slavic countries. A recent legislation in US makes it very easy to buy guns, to own them, ammunitions, everything, all types of guns for illegal aliens only. Recently I heard material about the placements of implants in the human body, and I was like confused. Am I listening to the Bible or the news? Because the implants are machines, they need power supply, and what they feed on is actually energy generated from the warmth of the human body. And for that reason, the scientists actually found out that the best implant placements in the body are the right hand, because we use it so much and a lot of heat is generated there, and the forehead, which also appears to be one of the warmest places of the body. This is an interesting report from New York, showing that many buildings are made to look like residential on the outside, imitating as if windows of living spaces, but in reality they are not so human friendly inside. Indeed, there are also strange sounds by unknown machineries doing unknown things. And it's quite a few of these buildings, and this is the smallest one probably. Some of the others are quite massive in size. And yet, as usual, more and more examples of how the alternative media is working for the Antichrist. This is from a strongly alternative source, trying to convince you that the suicide bomb is the only sensible option for you. It's a well-known trick of Dajjal. He offers solutions, a couple of them, excluding the right one, and the stupid people will go for what it seems to be the less evil of two evils. And by the way, talking about nuclear things, don't think that Ukraine doesn't have any nuclear weapons. It's got really lots of them, because they belong to Russia, but when the two countries separated, they were supposed to depart, to return to Russia, but only a part of them arrived and the rest are still in Ukraine, quite a lot of them. So Ukraine is basically a major nuclear power on the world scene. We know who pulls the strings behind Ukraine, so they haven't used that card yet, and they may use it to wipe off the locals, because they think that this area belongs to them and it's their right to clean sweep it. And the fact that Ukraine's got lots of nuclear weapons is not just a rumor, it is officially confirmed by Russian officials. And again, people who believe that they are fighting the forces of evil are actually just helping them, you see. As a result of the farmers' protests, they scrapped plans to cut pesticides in half across Europe. And also, I met people who have been actually to such events, such demonstrations by the farmers. And although in theory it sounds like something noble on the ground, there is such a nonsense going on, and it is so dangerous to be there because of the government agents who mix with the crowd and create God knows what, that maybe it's not very safe to participate in such protests. Actually, the solution for both predicaments, the nuclear and the attacks on farming, is to just step away from society and become self-sustainable. And unfortunately, a very small fraction of the alternative media gives proper importance to this thing. Many mention it just briefly, just to look more alternative, but in reality, the solutions they promote are like stay at home and take part of some movement, to distract you so that you're trapped in the city, or be part of some sect, some organized religion, and you can continue with your comfortable life in the city and you will be saved because only in your religion people will be saved. Your religion is the only right one. And people find most unbelievable excuses not to leave the society, like, for example, oh, when they introduce the mark of the beast, the hackers will give me false identity. So, in that way, they think that they will remain spiritual because they do not plan to take the future fixes. But at the same time, they plan to get the comforts and benefits of the organized society with the false certificates. They think they know better than the saints who left the prophecies for us, and even better than the devil. That is the main thing. They forget that the devil is a fallen angel. He's got capabilities far beyond the human being, and he will be using his supernatural abilities mainly for this purpose, to make such a clever system that the people will not be able to trick it. You think you will trick a supernatural being. And in addition, to me personally, it looks like that those who try to use hacker approach and trick the system might end up being more cruelly prosecuted than those who run to the woods. And this is the reason. Of course, they will know if your mark is real or not. Even now, they know. Many people have evidence that they were told by security personnel that we know that your vaccination certificate is false, so just watch out. But they're not advertising yet openly that they have these devices. Currently, they're only observing and collecting data. And later on, of course, they will know who is with false certificate. Anyway, all the hackers, at least the major groups for sure, and those are their departments to start with. They were the founders of the darknet. This is confirmed and official knowledge, which they don't even deny. So when the tribulation starts, there will be people who will run to the woods, and there will be those who will hope to trick the system and stay in the cities and within the society with false certificates. And at that time, I think the servants of the Dajjal, they will not want to attract the public attention to the groups in the forest, because they know that those are their strongest enemies, and they will not want to advertise to the big crowd even the existence of these groups. Even now, they are ignoring them and pretending they don't even exist. That's because they know, far from sight, far from mind, they don't want that group of people to be mentioned much in the mainstream media for any reason at all. And when the time of the cruel punishments begin, they will need people to crucify them in front of the crowds, so that the others will not think of taking fake certificates. And at that time, I think they will prefer to take people who are with fake certificates and living in the cities. First of all, they will be an easy catch. And second of all, when they crucify them, they will not need to mention that, you see, they're a part of actually a big group of hundreds of people who are completely hiding, who actually managed to survive outside our wonderful system. No, most likely they will fence off the cities and then create the illusion that there are only two groups of people. One is those who have accepted their way of life, and the others are those who still have doubt, and they're going for the fake passports, and that's it. That is their usual principle. The right solution is not even mentioned. And then, of course, the scapegoats for crucifixion will be selected amongst those who have fake passports. And few additional points on this sad topic. Many people commented that autopsy organs may not be fit for transplanting, but things are not like white and black there. First of all, there are many substances like, was it collagen? Anyhow, I don't remember the list in details, but many substances can be extracted and then used in transplant procedures and are being openly, widely used for cosmetic purposes. And in addition, there are other parts which can be used shortly after one is declared officially being no longer alive. And this is yet another frontier on making the sacred human body and the sacred human life impure, downgrading it to mere fertilizer. Of course, they are not driven by desire of natural recycling. All they care for is that this temple of the Lord, the human body, doesn't get a proper religious burial because not that religion is so pure nowadays, but still they give some hints towards holiness and Jesus Christ during the services. And this is unacceptable for the demons. It is not the first time they try such things. For example, in Russia, we know who is pulling the strings there. As couple of decades ago, they even kidnapped entire trains with which the bodies of the killed soldiers were being transported so that their relatives could bury them. They did that to deprive these souls of the opportunity for somewhat better destination after death, because the Orthodox ritual in this regard sometimes can offer help. Two interesting observations related to these self-assembling possession things in the figs made me wonder, isn't that a hint that it will be as prophesied by some, that those who accept the Antichrist at the very end of the tribulation will become immortal as punishment, because then they will really want to die, but they won't be able to, because they have crossed the line and they have turned into other species, the species of the evil spirits. And observations, which I mean are first of all, people who die and were fixed before that, they continue to transmit these Bluetooth signals or similar to Bluetooth, which means that the self-assembling nanopossession particles actually continue to live even a long time after the burial of their victim. And the second observation is that somebody made an experiment and put figs in the blood of a dead person. And amazingly enough, these nanoparticles started assembling themselves into kind of creatures, even in dead person's blood. And as I think, a third point came to my mind. I have heard that for some reason they excavated some graves of fixed people to find out, for their horror, that they do not decay as normal people. And something else in relation to tracking one's actual status. This is an interesting app with which I'm experimenting since some time, but because where I live there are not so many people around, and this one has a range of about 50 meters, although it says 100, but I think it works only in 50 meters range, at least on my device. Officially, it is advertised as an app which will tell you are there any active loudspeakers or other cell phones or devices around to connect to, and it shows those for sure, and they have like proper names, and that would be the brand of the manufacturer and the model number, of course. But what we're interested in are all those other devices which really seem to correspond to the fixed people around. That's why the names of the devices look like unintelligible strings of numbers and letters. Anyway, those who have some people around may play with this app and see is it really reliable. Also keep in mind that somebody may show like being fixed just because they have been to the dentist and have had an anesthetic, or just because they have had some other vaccine. As far as I could test it, and that was only when I went to the shop once, it did work, although it shows the distance to the devices, that means the people, somewhat bigger than it is in reality, but that could be something because of my model, because of my hardware, not because of the software itself. And here, when you have human interfaces walking around you, it will show even in how many meters are they from you approximately. And when I was looking at the frequently asked questions, the amount of biometric data which such a simple, amateur, free app can extract from the potential victims who have the thing inside them is mind-blowing. So God knows what the professional big brothers of this app can do. And currently, the descriptions of the various types of the biometric devices leave the impression that this is some sort of super photography or scanning of different bodily parameters, and they are only vague hints on how it actually interacts and influences the human body. Since the mission of my channel is to deliver the news a few years before they happen, what you will be reading in a couple of years is how these devices groom the consciousness of the victim. And just a short reminder, I hope you're using your computer from at least 1.5 meters of distance, preferably at least 2, because that is the threshold after which its malevolent effects are tangibly reduced. And when you use your smartphone, the best policy is to have some sort of holder, maybe one of these car holders or something like that, so that you do not touch the device directly, but hold it at least 10 centimeters away from your skin. If you are using a smartphone a lot, be sure to get one of these pens for the screen, because touching the screen also transfers devilish frequencies to you. Probably it is not by chance that they decided to make the screens out of crystals, which are used a lot in magic. And a physicist was telling me that these crystals, they're made in an unnatural for them state. They're forced to move, which is really against their nature, because crystals, they're stationary, they really love peace, they do not like to move. This, he said, it's kind of a crystal torture. And it is all set up in such a way that you get involved as well in these torture frequencies of the devils. And this is a viewer question. Yes, this piece of information which I mentioned is taken from the set material. And to be able to discriminate about this and many other important or just very curious things, for all of them, at least for those who decide to remain human, the path is only one: developing the qualities I have been calling in my videos sattvic in other paradigms like Christianity, Islam. They have other names for this set of qualities, but the essence remains the same. All genuine underlined, spiritual practices aim at developing this set of qualities. The walk, imitation spirituality, doesn't aim at that. Now, in the current, actually extremely interesting moment of the earthly history, we have this peculiar situation that even the ungodly people who don't aim at developing subtle vision or any subtle qualities, they will be also taught black magic by their future master, the Antichrist. Being an extremely powerful supernatural being, he can bestow upon his followers also mystic powers. As the tribulation advances, the people will start seeing evil spirits more and more. His people, I mean. The godly people will be seeing angels more and more. So Dajjal will be lifting this veil of invisibility in which our world is wrapped, and the godly people will benefit from it, actually, because they will get closer to the angels. But that's not the reason for which he will lift the veil. He'll do it when he's convinced that his followers are properly sworn into the evil cause. Because then when they are given powers, they will use them to produce more sin and thus enrich him in his own delusion. Exactly as the shamans in the Amazon, they were telling me, the evil shamans who do black magic and harm people, before they became like this, they were simply mean and bad people. But they were not that dangerous. They couldn't do that much evil. While once they got properly trained and they got the tools, then they're practically murderers, yeah, killing people with black magic. But as far as developing astral vision, that will happen to most people automatically in a decade, gradually. And yesterday, Sajrt told me that some 3 days ago he had two visions. The first one was something like an explosion scene in a small European Mediterranean town. And the second was a massive flood reaching to maybe the 5th or 6th floor, that high, in a rural area of China, somewhere on the border of the Shanghai province. But we thought maybe we can mention it in the video because he had the feeling that these are warnings for global events and not just something local. Because during the second vision he met with a group of heavenly guardians who kind of keep an eye and direct the events on Earth. They were closely watching the floods as well. They also had doubts that they might be too severe and everybody will drown, but that did not happen. Eventually the floods reached whatever 5th, 6th floor and then they subsided. Some years ago he had another vision with the same group of guardians, and at that time they were kind of preparing for an experiment with a disease which by itself is not very dangerous but will serve as a test for humanity. He had that vision year and a half before the pandemic, so this time this also could be warnings about the next big things about to come in the tribulation.